Hi YouTube, this is Ken, MacGyver_me. Today we will be tinting the door glass, well actually the complete car, but I wanted to show you specifically the door glasses on how these windows are done on a 2006 Subaru. So let's get into it, and remember to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. So stay tuned. Okay, here you have it. This is what we call a frameless door glass. The only thing we have to worry about is this rubber in the front and then also the bottom, okay? So these are actually easier, but you got to make sure that your perimeter cut is actually clean and nice so it looks good, because you don't have the edges of the door to hide any edges of your tent. So you got to make sure your cut is really nice. Also, the back door glass is the same. It's also frameless, but it's frameless on all three sides, not like the front. The front's only on the top and the back side of it. So we'll be putting 17% tint on the complete car, so stay tuned for that. All right, just remember, I can't overemphasize this. Cleaning the windows are very, very important of dirt and dust and debris. So you'll see me do this multiple times, but it's just to be able to have a good product at the end. All right. So on this particular door glass, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this front part of the rubber, cut it up, and then over. And remember, always pull away from the edge so that you can have a nice clean edge here on the side. So what I'm going to do is make sure this is lined up straight with the rubber, and then I'm going to cut this back edge. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm going to pull it in a little bit so that I just have a little bit of reveal on this edge here. Just like that. I don't know if you can see that in the film, in the video. And then I'll lock it in. So what happened there is, being that I was a straight on cut on this rubber over here on this side, right? And then I cut it and then I shifted everything. That puts me behind this rubber over here, which then I don't have any light leaks. And that's what you want. I'll trim off this excess, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to trim around the whole top edge here. Then I'll finalize my trim on the board. Guiding the edge of the glass around the radius here. I'll trim that up on the board like I said. Then I'll just come straight across the bottom. All right. Now I'll put this on the board and then I'll do the install and show you how that's done. Like I said, you'll see me clean this window multiple times. Now we'll clean the inside. One of the things that will happen, especially even using these blades to clean the inside, you never know if somebody tinted this window prior to you getting the vehicle. So using a new blade, you can actually feel the glass if there's any adhesive because the adhesive would be clear, so you really wouldn't see it, but you would definitely see it after putting a new piece of window tint on. So you definitely want to be able to feel the glass with the edge of the blade. Covering every portion of the glass, especially in the edges here and down on the bottom. As I mentioned in my other videos, whatever's up will come down. It's just gravity, it's nature. So always clean the top edge and back edge. You don't want, if just by chance the tint rolls over on that edge, you don't want to pick up any dirt. All right, missed it one more time. Then you work yourself from the top all the way down. Normally what I would do is hose down the bottom, washing any final debris down, and then on this edge, working from the top down. Mist the whole glass, and then I'll bring the tint in. A lot of people remove door panels and stuff like that, but on this particular vehicle, being that it's a frameless window, you can actually push on the glass and get the tint behind the rubber. And I try to get the cleanest edge I can around the front and the back. Again, working from the top down. Like I said, you take your hard card, your white card, or whichever one you use, and wrap a towel around it, lint-free towels, and work that edge out, getting any remaining moisture or water out that you can. It's still going to have some. Then work it down. And what I'll do is I'll hold here and push the glass out and get my tool behind that rubber. Then I'll use one of my pink widget chiselers and get behind this rubber part here, and then behind that rubber down at the front corner there. And there you have one door glass. Next will be the back one. Same thing, we'll measure it. Okay, before I put the tint on here, see this angles and this angles outward. So normally when we're dropping the tint down, you would gain, it would pull in here a little bit, but not enough. I've done these enough to know that I still have to trim a little bit and bring the tint in and then trim the rest of it. as you'll see. I'll lock it in for now. Trim off some of this excess. Pull away. Trim the bottom. All right, I'll trim it on the board. All right, it's even all the way around the three sides. If you ever drop your tool on the floor, make sure you clean the edges really good. It may have picked up a piece of dirt or something. You don't want to scratch the tent. So work in the perimeter. All right. And we'll repeat what we did on the front door with the card and the towel. Again, push out on the glass. Get behind that rubber seal on the bottom. Try to get all the water that you can get out from underneath there. That way the tent doesn't wick up on you. Pulling water up from the bottom and dirt. And there you have the back door. So this one's a little different. On these cars, I don't know if you can see it, this has defroster lines on this back quarter glass. And then you have these two connecting points here where the wires connect. So you have to be able to get the tint around these. So I disconnect the wires from the inside. Be careful because you can break those off. That's just solder holding these on. So I'll put the tint on there and I'll cut around the perimeter of the whole window. And then I'll cut just right on the edge of this copper looking piece here, right? Just right on the edge, because there's really nothing to put the tint behind like you would this or rubber or anything. So I got to cut it right on the edge of this rectangle. Same thing here. And then when I install it, we'll have tint behind here and tint behind here, which will make for a nice clean install. So so yeah, stay tuned for that. I always like cutting the edge of the tint off just to be able to see what I'm working with on the edges. Always remember to look on the inside to see how much room you have to work with for space with your cutting edge. And on this one here, I have quite a bit, so I'll go ahead and trim this out just on this side of the dot matrix. Sometimes, depending on the percentage of tint that you're using, if it's like limo black, and you have to use a light so that you can see it. Snap a new blade. All right, now there's two ways that you can do this. When they're minute like this, you can shrink them. When they're smaller like this, you can manipulate it and stretch it out to the corners and they will go away. But if you have not been doing this for a while, then you may want to do what I'm about to do. Sorry about that. All right, so get the heat gun going. I'm gonna shrink. Remember, the top and bottom is the only thing that you can shrink, top and bottom. So you gotta know how to manipulate the film in order to shrink these fingers or bubbles, whatever you wanna call them. So you work whatever one's here on the side down, and then you shrink them out. See how I just rippled that? Ripple it. You don't want the heat gun staying on it too long, you'll burn the film. So it ripples, and if you pass your gun just along the bottom, you may get a little one pop up, or not. That means there's still some pressure on the film. See that? So I'll do the same thing up here. See how it ripples? Push it out. Ripples, push it out. Ripples, push it out. Just like that. I dance my gun like this a lot, so I'm not concentrating too much heat in one spot. All right, she's ready to stick. The same thing, clean from the top side down. I already scrubbed this with a 4/0 Brillo. Let me show you what that looks like. All right, you see it says 4 zeros here? That will not scratch the glass, but it is a Brillo pad, okay? That's what I use anytime I have removing adhesive off of windows or just cleaning the windows that has defroster lines on it. That means most back windows, unless it's a pickup truck. Even some pickup trucks have it, but you'll scrub this whole thing down. So I normally rip off half. I scrub it down. Get around the tabs nice. I already cleaned this window once, so I'm just doing it as a demonstration. Then I hose down everything that I didn't get down to the bottom, especially around these tabs that hold dirt. Mist it down and get ready to stick it. And there you have it. All right, stay tuned for the back window. All right, so on the back window, third brake light's in the way here. I like to get behind the third brake light on some vehicles. So I'll go ahead and remove this. just let it hang there for now. Again, looking at the defroster tabs to see what I have to work with. They're right up to the edge of my line, so I have to be critical on that. But otherwise I have, I don't know, about a 1/4 inch to work with all the way around. So again, we'll clean the outside. I like to get a little water, soapy water, and put it right in the middle here. I have a little bit more tint here than I need, so I'll trim it off. So I'll cut around this tab here. I'll put a little bit on the end here. So that way I can separate, bring all of my my bubbles or my fingers, top and bottom. Do the same thing over here. Snap a new blade always when you're cutting on the glass. Alright, gloves are for 2 reasons. One, so I don't burn myself. And 2, so I can slide my hands over the bubbles or fingers, these here. It moves a lot easier instead of your skin. So like I did on the small quarter glasses, I let it ripple a little bit. I separate the tall or the long ones into smaller ones. Just like that. Let me see if you guys can see. Continuing to shrink it down. Window's concave, it bows this way and this way, and you're trying to take a flat piece of material and mold it to this glass. So this is why you have to shrink most back windows. Some door glasses, some quarter glasses, and for the most part, if you get into doing windshields, which is its own nightmare, they're pretty much always curved. All this little stuff in here will lay down when you install it, so don't worry about it. As long as you don't have these big fingers or bubbles on the bottom or the top, you should be fine. So I normally cut fat. When I say fat, I don't do my actual trim to dot matrix until after I shrink it. In the event that you burn the edge of the tint, you still can cut it and then do a final shrink, and you should be fine. So what I'll do is I'll pull this back halfway, get some soapy water behind there. And this is just checking to make sure I got everything, and then to do my final trim. Again, in the middle, work your way down, pushing everything down. Pushing everything up. I'll do the same thing over here. And go ahead and start trimming your top. At this point, you gotta be careful because this is your final edge now. You don't want to burn that. And once you burn it, the tint has a tendency to want to roll on the inside and not stick. All right, so be careful at this stage. Very quick movements on this at this point. Okay. See how I'm in there and I'm out? All right. And just as a reminder, make sure when you clean the window tint on the inside that you always use stuff that is safe for window tint, meaning there's a lot of like Windex, those type of cleaners, they have acetones or ammonias in it. Well, window tint has what they call a UV protectant on it, a 99% UV protectant, and the ammonia and acetones will break that hard coat up, thus voiding any warranties you have on the film. It actually causes that part to flake off, which is not good. So make sure the can of cleaner that you're using says it's safe to use on window tinting. All right, you don't want to have to do any warranty work like that if you don't have to. So again, I'm using the 4-aught Brillo and just scrubbing. It will not hurt the defrosters. It will not hurt the glass. See, I normally wipe the back edge of my squeegee in the event it has any debris on it. All right, hose off the sides, working from the top down, and working across the whole bottom, getting all that dirt out. Same thing over here. Mist the whole thing down. And when you do the install, try not to touch any of the plastics. Normally you work one side first, get it kind of lined up where you want it, and bring the top up and work your way over to the other side. Sometimes you got to shift it to get it behind the plastic like that, and then you can bring it back over. And then look around the whole perimeter, make sure you don't have any light leaks where you're not covered around the whole perimeter. Mist it one more time, and then you hold one edge and you work your way from the middle out, pressing firm. And from the middle of the top, working your way up. And then come back again just to get any remaining water. Work your way from the middle down. Same thing on this side. Same thing with the hard card. Work your way over, and then up, getting any remaining water that you can out of there. It will dissipate as the sun hits it, so don't worry about that. It will bubble on you. I'm having to trim a little bit here, it's a little tight. Same thing on this side. Keep in mind you don't want to cut where the defroster line is. All right, clean it all down, put the light back in place, and you're good. So, that completes this. All right, that completes the window tint on this 2006 Subaru. If you like this content, please hit the little bell for notifications so that when I'm doing other vehicles, you'll be able to watch and learn and be able to do this at home yourself. So like, subscribe, and thank you again for watching MacGyver_me. Have a blessed day.